Good evening, Stockard family. We are back for the final testing training of the entire year, which is an awesome feeling. And it's the last YouTube video you will have to sit through hearing me speak. We have a very, very quick turnaround, so I appreciate you working with me to make sure that we're doing our best to prepare our students for their last testing experience. Our first day of ACP testing will happen on Thursday, May 23rd. There are not as many assessments, which you will see when I get to the testing assignments, so most people will be in their own classrooms, but quickly an overview of the daily testing schedule. From 7:30 to 8:25, teachers and staff members administering tests will gather buckets and testing materials from the testing center. From 8:25 to 8:40, teachers will continue to pick up their regular first period class so that they can complete attendance, verify that each student knows where they are testing, and eat breakfast if applicable. From 8:40 to 8:44, we will do a whole school transition. Of course, wait to hear Ms. Holland on the announcements to do so. Teachers and staff will transition to their assigned testing location. There will only be a few people transitioning. Most people will be in their own rooms, and students will stay in their first period classrooms because that will be the first test they are taking. Administrators and first period monitors will watch hallways. From 8:44 to 9, teachers and staff serving as proctors will collect cell phones, pass out testing materials, and read the ACP script. And first period monitors will prepare their positioning. The first testing window will be from 9 to 10:30 a.m. Students in gen ed settings will complete their ACP for their scheduled first period class. Small group students will complete their test according to their schedule. In the past, all small group students would test in a small group whether or not they were taking an ACP or a teacher-made test. Students will only be testing in small groups for district ACPs. For teacher-made tests, they will attend their regular first period. This will stay the same for the rest of their test as well, and I will explain that more a little bit later. The school transition whole school 10:30 to 10:34, where teacher and staff will transition to assigned testing locations. Most will be within your rooms. Students will transition to their fifth period classrooms. Administrators will watch hallways, and fifth period monitors will turn in their testing buckets and transition to their location. 10:34 to 10:50, reading the script again. 10:50 to 10:20 or 12:20, the second testing window. 12:20 to 12:30, you will gather testing materials and prepare the testing classroom for lunch. Lunch will be extended and in the classroom, so from 12:30 to 1:56. Students will be delivered their lunch and eat lunch in their testing classrooms, and teachers and staff are relieved to turn in their testing bucket. Please prepare to eat at school that day accordingly. And from 1:56 to 3:40, teachers will remain with their six-period class, their regular six-period scheduled class, for the remainder of that day. Teachers only didn't get to see their fifth and sixth periods during STAR testing week for that Thursday and Friday, especially for our eighth grade teachers. So you will be with your own six-period class from 1:56 to 3:40 for the remainder of the day. You will have a substitute for a break and be relieved. Friday, May 24th, and then Tuesday and Wednesday of the following week, this schedule will be the same for that time with a few minor changes. The beginning of the days are going to look very similar, checking out buckets at the same time, picking up a regular first period class. And then on Friday, the first testing block will be second period. On that Tuesday, the first testing block will be third period. On Wednesday, the first testing block will be fourth period. And then from 8:44 to 9, teachers and staff serving as proctors will collect cell phones, do the same thing as before, same testing windows. And then the second block on Friday for testing will be sixth period. Tuesday will be seventh period. Wednesday will be eighth period. 10:34 to 10:50, again, preparing for that time. Same testing window. The only difference on this day is students will not be eating lunch in their classrooms. From 12:30 to 1, the teacher will remain with their assigned testing class, and relievers will excuse teachers to turn in their testing buckets. And then we will engage in a staggered dismissal where you will listen for Ms. Holland to announce grade levels and when they will be releasing. Students who want lunch will stop by the cafeteria to grab a sack lunch and take it on their way to leave. So testing assignments are different for this round of ACPs because since most students took STAR in a lot of subject areas, there are very few ACPs that are represented by the district. If you teach in a grade level or in content area that it has a district ACP, you are not allowed to administer your own content. However, you can administer your grade level. So I did my best to make sure that if you are in red, look at your name under teacher record, the testing teacher is who will be testing your students so that you have that information, and tried to keep you all within the same grade level. For example, Miss Alozzi's class will be tested by Mr. Barella, and you will see exactly when those tests will occur, and essentially which ones you will need to create seating charts for. If you do not have a district-made ACP, like Mr. Backus, you have all teacher-made tests. You will be staying in your own room. So if your name is in black, you are staying in your own room. If you have a district ACP, please look for your name. If you are a testing teacher, you will be testing the teacher of record students. For example, Ms. Reeves will be testing Ms. Chavez's students. So look for your name on here. If you see a star next to your name, it is because you have a special circumstance. For example, Ms. McCoy, she has astronomy students, only 7th and 8th period. Mr. Shepard will administer those tests for 7th and 8th period, but Ms. McCoy will be in her room the entire other part of the time, so that way she can administer her teacher-made tests. If you have any questions over the assignments, please do not hesitate to reach out. Small groups. Students who receive teacher-made tests will all be in their teacher-made test classrooms for this time. Sorry, I do not know why this got broken up. But the testing assignments for where people will be testing, if your name is one of these testing teachers, this is where you will be testing for each period. So now an explanation quickly of the small groups, because this does affect everyone. Sorry, I don't know why my formatting is going crazy. But 6th grade small groups. Miss Young has these particular students. These students are only going to report to Miss Young for testing when they have a district ACP. So when Jesse Balderas has math, for example, if he has math first period, he's going to go to his regular teacher's classroom. He's only going to go to Miss Young if he has a district ACP. So please make sure that when you have your regular first period class, that you're helping students to understand where they are going to be testing that day. I will be passing out schedule cards, so that way with your first period class, you can help them to write down what they'll be testing this day. It only affects small group students. The only time they're going to be testing somewhere different is if they have a district ACP. So if you have a small group, please feel free to check in with me. I am happy to discuss that further with you. For district ACP tests, all testing materials, including pencils, highlighters, student answer sheets, and test booklets, will be picked up in the testing center in front of the main office at the beginning of the day from 7:30 to 8:20 a.m. Please do not show up after 8:20 a.m. This is so that way I can help to make sure, along with the rest of the administrators and our awesome home monitors and our SEL coordinator, that everything for testing is going smoothly and all rooms are fully prepared. In order to check out your bucket, you must bring a fully prepared seating chart for all periods you are testing for the day. There are no exceptions to this rule, and you must use the seating chart that is attached to this email. In the past, I know that people have been concerned if they're testing for a district ACP not having access to rosters. I went ahead and created a Google sheet that has all of the students, their ID numbers by period for every teacher with a district ACP, so that you can easily fill in the seating chart. It will be in the email with the video. For teacher-made tests, teachers will administer their own teacher-made tests in their own classrooms. As a result, preparing materials is solely left up to the classroom teachers. Y'all, we only had pretty much a day and a half turnaround between training and administering the ACPs. And as a result, we will not be able to print tests for you. You'll be responsible for printing your own test. So please be prepared to do that. We also will not have tons of extra pencils. I will give out what we can, but we just won't have too many extra. Please, for your own sake, make sure to prepare your classrooms no matter what. Arrange classroom desks for testing. And please read this oath stop by my office tomorrow to sign the oath and the sign-in sheet, just like we have for the